I so chat, here we go. It's been a weird year. A year ago exactly, I graduated college, and you're probably wondering, it's July 26th. Then, is how'd you graduate college, exactly a year ago? And I'll explain. So, originally, when I was supposed to graduate, which was May 3rd of 2024, I was doing that. I went to graduation. I went with the girl I was dating with at the time. And I was genuinely thinking I graduated. And then one class, well, it was the last class I had, didn't do well on the exam and had to retake it for the whole summer. That set me back. But I do want to tell y'all everything that's happened since that year. And I'll go back to what really happened during that year, because there was something that special happened that year. So we'll start from the beginning, where I basically I would chat I was kind of I didn't know where to go. Well, I knew where to go. I was going to New York straight off, right off the rip. It was July 26th. I was trying to hang out with as many friends as possible beforehand, and I just kind of was like, I just wanted to live with my ex at that time, or not ex at my time, but I was dating that girl at that time, and we really had a vision to go to New York, and I delayed it. She went to New York regardless at the point because she had a job there, and it was hard. It was genuinely the hardest thing I've ever had to do, to find a job in New York. And I lived in New York for a bit. I loved it. I truly did love the culture. There was nothing against New York that stopped me, other than the $2,500 rent. That was expensive. It was all everything that I saved up for almost 10 years. Whether it was get like mowing the lawn, doing that, because when I went to college, I had a scholarship, I had financial aid. I wasn't struggling as bad as most people do when they go to college. So that's just right off the rip. I was in a blessed position. Don't get me wrong, I worked hard and I did that, but so when I went to New York, I loved it. I went to the U.S. Open because there was a free trial type of thing. It wasn't like I got to pay for it. It was just like a free exhibit. I got to experience the whole New York culture. I loved it. I learned so much about who I was, ventured out, did some amazing things. Uh, I can't. Went to Times Square. That first day was so magical. Listening to that, some albums, like also Nas, listening to Nas, and just experiencing a culture that I've never lived in a city, and I've lived in places where they were homeless. I feel like the homeless in Bloomington, Indiana, are worse, because they would chase you with a knife naked at 2 a.m. rather than at New York. But regardless of the point, it was just like it was an interesting time and frame. And so when I left New York, that was when it really hit me, where I thought I took a huge financial step back, and I also ended a relationship. So it was a huge point in my life where I was like, I'm losing everything. But in reality, I was gaining a lot by doing that. So I went back home to Indiana, and I met Bridge, and that's where in it was September 8th. I just kind of worked to get hard, like not hard. Holy cow, that is a wrong statement. I worked to. I actually had an opportunity presented to me where my dad wasn't doing the best physical shape, and he wanted me to train him to actually go because he was going to go overseas. Luckily, he actually had an extra ticket. What's good, Kimchi? I'm glad to see you, dog. Um, um, where we trained for 3 weeks, and we really woke up 5 6 a.m. and I was motivated because I was like, yeah, I'll get back at my ex. And I don't know why it's so delusional. I think it's just the most delusional thing of like being in shape, because you're never going to be back like getting with your ex whatsoever. So that's such a funny thing. But I went to Sweden. I was in great shape. I went with him, and October, I know, I was like, I haven't seen you in a bit, Kimchi. But I was I was really lost, and I wanted to do content like this. I wanted to do music content, and I didn't know where to go. So my point was, where do I go next? I was so lost. I was praying to God every day. I was doing so many different things, and when I came back of October, I had job interview after job interview, and I just felt lost as hell. Same thing with November, job interview, job interview. I would get to the third stage of the process, and then boom, just like let go. Oh, sorry, we found a different candidate. Oh, da 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 da. And it was just like, are you kidding me? Like I go through hours, and I did hours of these things and full time jobs. Finally, I didn't get a full time job, but I landed on a part-time job at a grocery store, and I really did enjoy that time, built up the money that I left at New York. Then so that was January through March. Then randomly I had an argument with my family, and I went to basically I was like, I'm gonna stay with my boys. So I traveled 3,000 miles in the South, and they let me stay, whether it was I know job. I can't believe I even said that word. It offends me to this day too. I should really just say JB. Can't even say the O. O'Reilly Auto Parks. Okay, so regardless of that point, I went on that trip. I went on that. I went to Old Miss. I went to Pensacola. I had a good time, but I was so lost because I was just shaking. I never done anything like that. Especially you're traveling. I mean, if you see what Ryan and Haley are doing, they knew where they were going. Like they have the Airbnbs. It's still exhausting to drive that because you're so focused on everyone else on the road. It's not even about getting to the Airbnb. It's about actually being able to drive at that distance and being able to physically not get in a car accident. That's more of what it was, because once you get to the place, you're like, I love this. Da 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 da. Wherever I went to Auburn, wherever I went to Alabama, da da da. Also, they've raised $10 million. Shout out to them already. I've been watching the series this whole time, and almost every day. It's like my highlight of the day. But regardless of the point, I I basically drove. Yeah, no, I was driving more than 1,000 miles. And you saw Kimchi. You saw the Old Miss trip. You saw the Auburn trip. You saw the Pensacola trip. I went to New Orleans, and I went to. I just wanted to experience the South because I never really experienced the South other than Florida at hand. So it was such an adventure at that point, and it was something. I recorded 3 songs. I really felt like I was actually going to blow up as a creator. And God carried me through that in so many ways than not. So I'm really blessed God in that, because I don't know how I survived New Orleans right off the rip. Saw Rohan, got to record some amazing things, but I thought these things were going to blow me up. I thought I was actually going to have this moment as a creator where I understand where I'm at as a creator. I loved doing live streams. I loved making music, and I thought the two were coinciding. But when I came back, I was more lost than ever. So when it came to May, I was doing as much content as live streams, and I was actually figuring out how to edit music videos and edit shorts in different ways, and I was learning how to do 6,000 views, 7,000 views on shorts, and it wasn't really getting me where I wanted to be, because at the same time I'm still not getting a full-time job, and I still had that pressure of everyone telling me, why the fuck do you not have a job? And I'm like, I'm trying my hardest. I'm still doing that. This is my part-time. This is my 5 to 9, but trying to find a full-time job was a 9 to 5 in that regard. And I feel like Gen Z can really relate to that. Finding a job in this clientele is hard, and I think it's because they require so much experience. Look, I went for a bachelor's degree. I graduated with a bachelor's degree, but that does not mean that I have 5 years of training of something that you want me to do. Like, right off the rip, the forbidden word, I used it again. Oh my gosh. But it was just ridiculous. It's ridiculous what these companies are requiring at this point in time. I just can't even. I'm not going to say out the company's names. These are some big companies. I've got to the final interview, and I don't know what it has been, but it's been the most aggravating year of my life because of that reason. I thought, because it's something out of my control. I'm trying my hardest. I want to work at McDonald's, 10 years grill experience. Facts. You want to work at, literally, it's ridiculous. You need a 10-year, you need a PhD to work at McDonald's at this point. Like, even some of the typical things, like I graduated perfectly fine. A bachelor's with no, on God, we got to statch the bachelor's with the bachelor's, George. That at this point, it's just that crazy. I don't know if it's like that in Europe, but it's like that in America. And people just don't see it. Millennials are not experiencing that because they've already had that experience, but we've never seen AI take over at this rate. I'm not like, it's going to be a little bit ridiculous where I think we're actually going to have to shut down, we're going to shut down AI and certain things. Just wait until school starts. Short views are going to be skyrocketed. Trust me. You think so? I hope so, because I've never been more lost in my life. I'm going to just straight up. Now we're finally getting into the nitty gritty of it. It has been a year since I've graduated. I've had two part-time jobs. Haven't had like a real full-time job, and I've been working constantly. So I've been never lost more than ever. There's something that my parents said to me. I picked them up from, they went on a Europe trip yesterday, or not yesterday. They went on like a trip, and I picked them up, and it was honestly one of the worst arguments I've ever had with them in my life. Like genuinely right off the rip. Like they said, I have to delete this channel or else like I might have to move out. And that's genuinely where it's coming to a point, because I cannot find a full-time job with a bachelor's degree. It's not how articulate. I know my skills of being articulate. That is not the problem. It is not. I don't know if it is how I present myself online, but I try my best to be. I try to entertain you guys, and I know I have faith. I have faith in this, but some points in my life, I've never been more fucking lost. And I'm being real. This is probably the realest I've ever been on camera. Some part of me is losing faith in God in a sense, where I can't even, I'm praying every day, but I just don't feel the change coming. I see little things where it's views, but I don't feel myself, where I don't know where I'm going. And whether it's financially, and I've sacrificed so much, whether it's getting the computer, doing other things, doing these for hours on end, thinking it would work, and it's like, I don't think it's worked. And maybe I'm helping someone else out there become one of the greatest things, and maybe, it's ridiculous where I don't know where direction to go. I woke up, that's the one thing that really kept me going, live stream, doing it for you guys, because it felt like I was just escaping from reality at a certain point. I was escaping from everything around my surroundings and being in a world with you. And I love it. I really appreciate you all being here. George, Kimchi, ZZ, Prestige, Ivan, all these people have been amazing. Max, oh my God. Like, y'all been here with me for months when I was at the lowest. So I appreciate y'all. And I've loved this community more than anything. So I can't delete this channel. And I'm probably going to have to move out. I'm probably going to have to live on a couch with my boy. Luckily, one of my friends has said he can let me live on his couch. But that's probably where we're going to go. I don't know where it's going to go next. I don't know where this channel is going to go next. But I have very little faith at this point. I'm losing hope. And I know it sounds weird, but I just had to be real with that. I don't know. It was gut-wrenching, because it's something I've worked for 9 years, where I do music every day. I know I'm talented. I just don't know when God's given me all these visions, but I don't know how to actually attribute them in that regard. And I know y'all feel that in some way in your life, where you see these visions of where you can actually be, but you don't know how to get there. And that's exactly where I'm at right now. But it's not the work ethic. I know my work ethic's there. That's not the problem. I don't know what it is. I don't know what God's trying to teach me in this moment. But I don't want to be like one of those people where I'm blaming everything besides myself. I'm trying to blame myself. I blame myself more than enough times. I actually fully understand you, Dennis. Please get out of my head. You're speaking like me most of my days. Yeah, that's facts. That's funny. So I put on this front, I put on this facade where I am doing right. I am doing okay. In that moment, I am doing okay. But majority of the day, I have these intrusive thoughts where they kind of flow. They just kind of flow in so many different directions, where I have faith, and then the next second, I just have no faith in anything. And I don't get it. I really don't. And it's so many highs and so many lows. I've met so many great people, and then I've met some of the worst people. So I see how when I worked at a supermarket, I saw 90% of people are actually naturally good. 90% of people are genuinely good people. But it's the 10% that you think about constantly, of the idea of what you're doing wrong. And I'm trying to figure out where the fuck am I actually going? Like, I don't know. Because why am I doing this? Like, and it's selfish in a sense. I want to do it for other people. You're online happy and stuff, but in reality, you're like, what the fuck am I doing? No, you're spot on with that. Thank you, guys. I want this content to be the best content. I want to change the music industry. I want to break the whole fucking industry. That is not even a fucking question. I just don't know how. And I've had these feelings of I can do it. I can become this artist. But at some points, I am praying. I'm on my fucking knees. Sorry, God. Sorry, I shouldn't use that word. But I'm trying to get better little and little every single day and just waking up. I don't even, most of the days, I don't even feel like waking up. I'm just sleeping in constantly so I avoid the thoughts because the dream feels good at least. I'm just straight up. And that's how it feels as a college grad. College was a great escape because you're in your own world. You're in a completely different realm. It's almost like walking into Narnia and being in a completely different realm. That's what college feels like. College was amazing. I learned a lot about myself in college, but when I'm in this real world, I just see I get where adults become so depressed because their dreams just, not to spread negativity, but the industry made it become too big to break out exclusively through talent. Exactly. It's spot on with that, George. Spot on. So now I'm trying to figure out how to blow up as an artist, but I've been going at the rate that I thought God wants me to. So, but we'll see where it takes me from there. But I will say, this year has taught me a lot, but it's also confused the hell out of me. If college is going to make me more depressed, don't let me sign up. College makes you, so the first 2 years was interesting for me because I had COVID for the first 2 years. So it was very, people just had masks. But I learned a lot about myself and how much I could persevere through certain obstacles. That's my perspective. College really gives you time to be independent. You have thoughts like no other because you are actually alone. And then you actually have to step out of your comfort zone. It really is survival of the fittest at the end of the day because you're not babied by mommy or daddy. But the thing is, I've been alone majority of my life. I've been alone. Whether it's my thoughts, whether it's doing things, doing music, doing this, I've been doing it. I try not to rely on other people because I've seen when relying on other people, it's actually affected me more than what it is. And there are certain moments I actually liked being alone more than actually being with, because there's some amazing people, some of my friends, but there's times and places where I'm like, I can't be with them right now. Like straight up. It's just straight up. That's the reality. I love dancing alone in my own room, thinking I'm going to become the biggest artist in the world, looking at a camera, looking at a mic, or holding a comb like a goddamn mic, and thinking I can be a bigger artist in the world and impact this whole fucking industry. And I feel like that. I truly feel like that in so many different moments. But I don't know. I don't know how it is in American college, but perfectly I was put away and how impersonal it is. It is all compared to high school. You think it's compare? I think that's interesting. That's an interesting perspective, George. I think it's definitely, I don't know what it is, but the more I've grown up, the more I try to avoid drama. I try to have peace, not happiness. I try to I see who actually gives me peace, not the thrill of something. Because the people that I've had that gives me the highest thrill are the craziest people that I've had to deal with. My freshman year, I had someone who was like one of my best friends, and he turned to drugs and literally used his whole money. It's just how your choices have really made you who you are and make you lose your fucking life in an instant, like a goddamn instant. So yeah, I've seen someone go to drugs. I've seen someone who was a close friend of mine where I was so lost because he did some things to some girls, and I was just like, I was a mess, straight up, chat. But God the only thing that has pulled me out of these situations is God, because of the peace, because of the praying, because that's the only time I've had peace, whether it's anxiety or certain other things. But at certain moments, I do really feel like I'm the greatest. This is the best time. I have these moments where they're like when February is such a great month, making that TV off remix during that time, working at a supermarket. So yeah, Nah, my first. Oh, here, let's see this. Nah, because my school is actually filled with drama and fights every day, and I always look up. See, that's the thing I don't miss about school, and that was just high school, not college. College, I try to avoid. I actually liked my alone time because of that reason. I just didn't like people interviewing with my piece. Yeah, sriracha. That was actually such a cool time. That was actually a really cool moment in my life, like walking out of the thing. So and listen to my music, and that's what brings me peace. Listen to my music, drinking coffee, and talking to y'all, and talking to God most importantly. But like, okay, let's see what George said. George, you're just a number in college. Where a few months you were a person who knows by professor. No, yo, spot on, George. By professors and other people as a good friend and valued community in high school. In high school, you are valued by the community. Yes. In college, it's completely different. You can walk in. I think I walked into college, and I think 90% of the professors, I didn't know the name. I just knew the course name and what to do. So it was online, boom. And I was in person, but it was just like, what the fuck? Like, I just don't know. I don't have any community. So the only thing I had was making music for hours on end, because that put me in a different reality of thinking I'm going to perform with the greatest artist. I don't know why. I don't know why God did that and designed me the way I did, but that's how it is. I knew a guy who went to drugs in primary school. He's fine, construction, so I guess he's fine. But I hope he's doing good. I hope he's doing good. I went to a construction site yesterday because one of my boys actually works at a construction site and saw what a day-to-day life looks like him. He's a college grad, and he's making 2 times more than these construction workers are doing for 25 years, and he's only his 3rd year into it. So it shows me how life can be fair and unfair, but I don't know why God puts certain hands in certain others. So I've been just debating with God. And when I first had a real reaction with God, it was one of the best feelings of my life, because I had the girl, I had everything. But when shit hits the fan, where are you at? Do you actually have faith in God? And that's where I'm really struggling with that. I don't know where this video is going to go. The video is going to probably fucking flop, if I'm going to be honest. But I wanted to be as real as possible to the community, because that's how God designed me. I like being vulnerable. I don't like straying away from different things and hiding this emotion. Whatever I express in the music, I don't care, because I realize I have me at the end of the day. I know that year, my senior year in college, those first few months after I broke up with my first girlfriend, I remember I was at one of the lowest moments. The only thing I had was God. I didn't have friends. I have family, but I don't have friends like that. I had people I would hang out with. Those were acquaintances. I don't view them. The friends that I have now are family to me, regardless. I'm not going to say who they are, but they've helped me through the lows. They've literally seen me through the highs and lows. Same with them. But you have to just deal with that. Just right off the rip. I've been dealing with, I think the hardest thing I deal with is, I'm not lonely. I realize I've already had relationships. I hope the best for all the girls. I've never had. But also, one of the things that lingers in my mind straight up is these girls that I dated, the one problem they had is I didn't have a full-time job. So I didn't have the security, and I knew I was trying so fucking hard. Yeah. It's important to remember the people who truly matter. But even when those moments are, you become selfish in a sense. I just tend to isolate myself, so I think I can fix it on my own. That's just kind of how I am, which is not a good thing. It really isn't. The best things I've really gotten through is when I actually talk to people and actually I'm open about it. So, but you have to be around people you trust. And people will let you down, but it's about it's like, for instance, I'm not going to say what friend this is, but I have a friend who 80% of all of his values and morals and who he is as an individual, I agree with. But there's 20% of it where sometimes I just don't understand why he acts the way he does. But at the same time, I would never trade anything in the fucking world for that friend, regardless of the point, because that is actually a real dog of mine. The more you know someone, the more you actually realize how what their flaws are, but how great they are, how flourished they can be, like the strengths of it compared to a normal person. Because if you look someone in the You can be neutral about someone if you don't know them straight up. Like you could, if you didn't know Kanye, for instance, right? You just be neutral about him. But now the whole world knows like why, like we don't know why he acts the way he does, but I don't get why God makes me want to forgive certain people. Why do I have to forgive everyone? I think the thing I'm trying to learn the most is I have to forgive these people, but I don't have to forget. That's the hardest thing. Oh shit, adjusting light. Okay, let's see. In my personal opinion, I can be by myself with my online friends rather than my actual friends. And sometimes, I remember my sophomore year of college. I was more online with my online friends than my actual friends in college because they didn't feel like my actual friends at that time. But the online friends felt more like that. Because they were far away. I mean, my online friends were more friends that are still family to me, and they call me every day. And now we're actually in the same location now. But regardless of the point, where I'm at a year, I'm lost. I've never been more lost. I think I was more confident than I was last year, and I've been through shit. I think it just phases. It's I wish I could come on here and be like, man, I got a job at Charles Schwab, or I got a job at a financial management part, and they blessed me with a 401k and this, that, and the third, and my life is set up for the rest of my life because I'll be working like this. No, that's not how God intended me at all. That is not how God made me. God could just like freaking knock me out. Maybe he knocks me out the world tomorrow, and I'm just like a fundraiser for someone and something like that. You know what I mean? Okay. Anyways, I have this one friend here. Kimchi said this. It's Valtre, or Val, if you like that. I have this one friend in middle school, then moved schools like 2 years ago, and then showed back up, and he was acting like nothing happy. We're still homies. You actually go through that. A person that I actually would live with, he was my dog. He's been my dog for 14 years. His family's still like a second family to me because I'm so connected to them just as individuals. But there was 2 to 3 years where we didn't really talk because we had 6 years of amazing connection, but those 2 years, sometimes you need to separate because you're just different people at that point in time, and God kind of gives those points. So I'm glad you're still homies, where I'm still homies with that. Some people just need time. And it sometimes it takes years. Sometimes it takes months. Sometimes it takes weeks. Sometimes it takes days. Sometimes it takes hours. But the one thing you have to remember is, are they actually there for the long run? So give people time. I think God's trying to give me time, and I'm just being impatient as hell, which is normally the case most of the time. But I just want it now, and I want my prayers to be accepted. But I know this might be, I hope this is not a depressing. I hope this is motivating in some way or relatable in some regard, because this is probably the realest video you will see on YouTube. I genuinely believe that. I don't think I have a tone where I'm like, hey guys, what's going on? So, like, please donate to me. No. Like, I don't have a donate thing. I don't make any money out of this. I haven't made money out of this. I've been doing this for 9 years. I've never made any money out of this. The only money I've made out of it was the music that I did, and that took like 6 years, $26. I made more in the stock market than that. So regardless of that point, I don't know where I'm going next with this channel. Straight up, I had so many ideas. I think I do have ideas. I have all this music. I have almost 1,000+ songs I need to release, but I don't know how to market. I don't know. God keeps saying have faith. How do I have faith when something has never gone right on all these years? You know what I mean? I've worked every day. I know God sees the sacrifice, but how is he like? Well, I don't even know if it'll be worth it. That's where I'm at. I wish I could say I had so much faith. After yesterday, after that argument with my family, that was like the worst thing in the world because I felt like everyone was giving up with me in that moment. That's what it felt like. Just like, luckily my friends were kind of there, where they supported me in the low time, but I don't know. Man, yeah, 1 year after I graduate, yoo-hoo, so happy I got my college degree where I can't get a full-time job, and this market is just, I don't know why the other generation feels this way. Maybe I need to change my mindset, I know, but I don't know how, and I've tried. So I hope y'all graduate. I hope y'all actually do college because college is actually worth it. I learned a lot about myself in college. I genuinely did. But the yeah, I genuinely did learn a lot about my college. This feels more real than actual unk talk. Yeah, probably. Um, but I y'all make me smile. At least that's worth it at the end of the day. It's about being in hell and being around people that you still love. I think that's what it is. It's more about love than that. Um, Sometimes I just want respect, but sometimes I realize love is more important than that. Because I keep trying to get everyone's else approval, but the people who are actually matter the most. That's the one thing that I came around the most of. If y'all have any more options or questions, please let me know. Or what your thoughts and feelings. You could be like, delete the channel, and go ghost, and then just live in a tent. I should just go live in it. Honestly, I think I should just go live in a tent, get some beef jerky, get some nuts, just only eat one meal a day, just drink water, just go ghost. I think that's what I should do at this point in time. I think I should just like live with stray animals at this point, just randomly in the Alps. I should go to the not Swedish Alps. I should go to the Swiss Alps and just live there. I don't have the money to even freaking do that, but that would be funny as hell. I just have thoughts like those. I'm just letting my intrusive thoughts out because fuck it, why not? What else do I have to lose at this point? I don't think I have. Keep the channel. I should just throw this channel away. All the years of work, like that was just fucking ridiculous. A statement to say. Coming from your own family. It's to be your own family sometimes. It genuinely be your own family sometimes. Pisses me off. Genuinely does. Sometimes it'd be your own friends, but my friends, I try to watch out. Man, this is a long... No, don't do that, man. What should I do then, Kimchi? You're the only... I think you're the only one in here right now. Out of all these people. I got a mic. I got a voice, at least. I'm appreciative at the same time of what God's done for me. I don't know how I'm still alive at this point. I genuinely don't. I genuinely don't know how I'm still alive, like, out of all of this. But God somehow has me for a reason. I'm here for a reason. I don't know what that reason is, but I genuinely don't know. I just appreciate you being in here, George. You don't even have to say anything. I have a few songs I could release, but I just don't know how to market them. You could release it out to the abyss and be like, what the fuck? But I have this idea. I don't know if it'll work. It'll troll the whole rap industry. But I'll have to go away from this channel for a bit. That's the one thing I might have to do. We keep the channel because the haters vote no facts. We still need the haters. The haters kind of enlight a mission. They light something in you. I think you kind of need equal and opposite